Um, the scooter I use to get around the house. Like I'm not 100% wheelchair user yet. If I need to go away from the house, scooter stays, the wheelchair goes. And with the pandemic, it's not such a there's nowhere to go. I go grocery shopping maybe twice a week. Um, put the put one of the hand baskets right on my lap, and I just truck around in the wheelchair, load up the basket. And if I've got a the basket can't hold as much as a shopping cart, but I can go out, unload it in the car, and go right back in for a second load. So I'm still able to do that, but yeah, there's adaptations. It's a little less convenient. Um, Sleeping. It's I still don't have problems sleeping. I know a lot of people with this disease have such problems. My issue is um, comfort of my feet. It's weird. The blanket is so heavy to my weak feet now. It pushes it down, and by the end of the night, my feet are aching. So I've figured out a way to sleep in my recliner that is easy on my feet. And the recliner is nice because I can just jump off my wheelchair or the scooter into the recliner and then push a button and it raises my feet up for me. In the bed, there's a lot of scooching and shoving around and visiting the bathroom as I do maybe twice a night. It always wakes my wife up. So that's another downside. I've not slept with my wife a lot. And we both appreciate the reasons for it. Like it's easier for me, and she's a very light sleeper, so it disrupts her sleep less. Me not being in there, um, but it's kind of sad. I don't want to get emotional here. I'm sorry, but you adapt, and the other adaptations I told you about. I sit on this special cushion to keep myself comfortable, so I can sit upright and work most of the day. And I have let me see if I can reach it. I have my feet get cold or chronically cold, and that has led to problems. Basically, they start blistering. They start developing something called chilblains, which is like frostbite because of the poor circulation. So I got this. I wrap around my feet. It's just a pad that goes in the microwave, and that solved the problem. So we come up with all these little measures to solve these inconveniences, I'll call them. Anyway, so why am I posting these videos? I want to answer that question. Um, Part of it's ego. I don't like being considered a disabled person. I don't think I am disabled, but I want people to know I can still do things. That's important. I think that's a normal tendency. Maybe I have it stronger than a lot of other people. Like I've gotten used to people asking me, "Do you need help with something?" And sometimes I'll take them up on it. Please keep asking me, but when it's not obvious I need help with something, they just see me in a wheelchair. They want to help me. I used to get a little like felt on the spot. Felt like why are we drawing attention to me? Just I'll ask for help. And I've had to learn to you know shut up, bud. Just forget that. They're being nice. So there's an ego element. I want to let people know I can still do things. Um, and another reason is I want to, my I think my family doesn't ask me a lot. Like my close family, my wife does. She wants to know what's going on. And I'm pretty close to my other members of my family, especially my wife's family, my sister and brother-in-laws. Um, I think they want to know, and they're just being nice. um, and I kind of want to let them know, like, you can ask. you're close. You can ask. You can ask, like, if you're curious about things or you want to know how I'm doing. So it's another reason. And another reason I do these videos. And when I first was diagnosed with ALS, I was looking all over online for these kinds of videos. I like to know what's ahead of me. And I found some great ALS videos about ALS, but the wider disabled community has been a godsend. They've made these great videos where when I was wondering if I'd be able to drive a car, they were answering that question for me. They're driving cars, and this is how they're doing it. They got take apart wheelchairs. They got their hand controls for their cars. Um, so I kind of wanted to give a little back. Like, I wanted to keep that the chain of knowledge going, share my experiences with people, because I've learned, as much or maybe more about how to live than I have from my medical professionals by watching these videos. So I'm trying to do that too. And anyway, that's why I do the videos, and I hope they're well received. Um, anyway, how do I feel? Like, how do I generally feel? ALS, like, for those who don't know, there's no pain. Initially, I haven't experienced pain. I've not been, like, I'm going to keep saying this, I've not been through the ringer on this disease yet. Other people have. So it's been an inconvenience, let's call it that. And it's been um, emotionally, yeah, the first few months, devastated. Me and my wife were crying ourselves to sleep for a couple of weeks, wondering if I'd be there for, like, different events. I got teenage kids. They weren't even teenagers when I was diagnosed. Um, and just the crushing thought of, like, putting my family into financial ruin and misery, taking care of me when this should be a good time. That we should be nearing our retirements and getting the kids off to college, and they should be focusing on their own lives. Um, that has changed a little bit. Have come to learn I'm a slow progressor, and for whatever reason, and these are the two unusual things about my disease: the slow progression. I'm 4 years in. The median. I'm going to pause it. Okay, I was talking about how I was feeling emotionally how we were feeling emotionally when this all hit and things that have changed. Yeah, it was devastating news to be told you have an incurable fatal disease, and there, in the end, is undignified. And but we've learned that my progression is very slow, and on top of that, it seems to be localized, at least for the here and now. And those are unusual. Usually, after ALS has been with you for some time, not long, it starts to colonize other parts of your body and takes them out. And now I can see where I'm going to be around for my kids a lot longer than we thought. That I'll probably see them. I'll probably see them start college. I don't. I don't want to make any promises or guarantees. Um, my older child, son Zachary, he's in 10th grade, so I dare say I'll be here for his college debut. I hope I'll be, in 4 years everything will still be fine, and I'll see Ella go off to college. My younger daughter, she's an 8th grader. So we're not constantly depressed. Basically, this is just something we deal with day to day, and I think that's, if you talk to anybody else going through similar hardships, disability, ALS or otherwise, disability wise, health wise, you adapt, you get used to things, and you don't give up. You keep going. You overcome. Some things you don't get used to, and I don't think we've entered that territory yet. We've also heard much worse stories. So in that respect, we're pretty lucky.